shoulder hurts, and my elbow right there hurts, and I don't know what happened. I don't remember hitting anything. I want to talk about, or I don't even know. What I don't understand is like that movie No One Would Tell with Candace Cameron Bure. They tell people when if you see someone being abused or something like that, you speak up, you say something. But I'm seeing a lot of you shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that. So I'm confused. Do you continue to let shit like that happen and you know it happened but um, don't tell someone, just don't, because what? Because it's gonna upset things or make things crazy. If something went to that point, well, you know what? That's because it is crazy and it fucking shouldn't be happening. And to where there's a baby right there, and I know how it is when people tell something that's some big. It's not a top secret, but it's not something that's something happy or fun. When you have something like that and you don't have anyone to, it just stays on. I mean, well, some people have no problem in blabbing shit to other people, but there's the kind where there's the like the silent rule of where you know not to say. But sometimes in that, it's so no one will get hurt. But if you're gonna do this and not say that after someone did get hurt, that that besides calling the kettle black and all that shit, that's so what? If someone hits someone, treats someone like shit, don't tell anyone. Is that what we're supposed to do? But when someone's dead, they end up saying, "Well, you know what? You have to speak up." And in the meantime, I said, "You shouldn't have said anything. You shouldn't have said anything." So I hate humans because all they do is care about themselves. If they didn't care about just themselves, shit like this wouldn't happen because someone wouldn't be an asshole and then the other person wouldn't be treated like an asshole. And then no one would have to say anything to anyone else who then is going to be, you shouldn't have said that. So that pretty much covers all humans. And if you say something like, you need to speak out, then that makes you the person like me who just doesn't exist. And I'm so sick of it. And family drama. I was going to put that for the title, but I didn't. But that's what it is. And family is not a blessing. Family is a curse that you were born with and had no fucking say so in any of it. And since on my birth certificate with whiteout, almost dying in the hospital, no picture of the infants and all that, um, it would have been better if I didn't make it out of the hospital, if I didn't make it through the night like they said. But I guess baby me was still too much of a strong survivor badass to die. But he didn't know any better. He was just a baby. If he would have known the shit that he was in for, he would have said, you know what, I'm not gonna bother. So that's what I tell baby me. Um, I know you're a fighter and but don't, just don't. Because everything that's led up to this, where I'm right here, right now, this moment with this baby, and like these three other cats, they don't have the story on why I have them is some fucked up bullshit. And I remember when they were babies. If they weren't babies, because I would had just gotten um, dumped and left in the dust by some old busted faggot. Yeah, I said it. A spineless, gutless faggot. And he could stick a squeegee up his asshole, and I hope his hernia explodes. But he was a closet case bitch, and in one of my meetings or my therapy sessions, I'm telling the therapist about that relationship, what's going on, and he says, "You need to tell him that he has to be open and come out, or you're tell him you're going to put an ad in the newspaper." Besides that being dangerous, you don't. So that then there was that therapist, and then my shrink said I should do some psychotherapy, which I shouldn't have done, and I should have signed that waiver form because it and that after that psychotherapy, that was when had the post suicidal thoughts when it was getting like really bad. So, but for all that time, I was the asshole never said who he. Still to this day, I don't think he's came out of the closet. And it says something when I was 23 years old and he was 43, but he lied and said he was 28 when I met him at the nightclub. This old fucker doing at a club, but it the not the highlight, but I'd say the one of the big moments was um, in Palm Springs when I just got on my medication on Zoloft, and before I said I didn't want to go out, that I had a bad feeling. Well, we shouldn't have went out because I know I got was drunk, and I didn't when you take and my mother could vouch for all this because she heard it on the phone. Yeah, I'm not shitting you. So he came up because I was on the dance floor, and next thing I know, I turn. He is right there in my face and saying that I touched this guy's dick, which I didn't do. And next thing, we left and hauling ass down the street, and I'm driving because his license was suspended at the time, but I was drunk, so I shouldn't have been driving. So then the car stops, or we pull over to the side of the road, And I get out, and one point I'm laying in Highway 111, wanting just laying, and that's a big street in Palm Springs. But I was laying on there, wanting to, I didn't give a fuck. And then he was, um, I was so enraged. He was coming at me, and I told him to stay away from me. And I said, and this was my mom's on the line. I said that I wished he was dead. I wished his daughter was dead, and I wished his mother and his granddaughter was dead. And then I spit in his face, and my mom heard all of that. Next thing, the cops are coming, or there's cops there, and he tells the cops that I was, well, which I am. I have bipolar disorder, but he said I was a manic depressant, and not to take me away. So then I'm in the back of the cop car, not being arrested, but I did have my pipe in my backpack. But the cops are taking me back to the Six Motel, and when I get to the Six Motel, I didn't have my wallet. It was in that asshole's car, and so I had called him up, and the asshole turned around and came and brought me my wallet back, and he stayed there. But if that was me, if someone had spit in my face, wished all that horror, even though he still deserved everything I said. But if someone did that to me, that wallet would have went out the window, and I would have kept going. But then he wouldn't have had a punching bag and all this shit to do all of his stuff, so he needed to make sure that stayed there. So there was that. The time we almost got busted for weed, and he said this to the cops: "It's his weed, but it's my pipe, and it was the pipe he got me for my birthday." But he lied to the cops because it wasn't my, like, everything he said was a damn lie. So when I finally had um, his lies, he couldn't do it anymore. I went down there to, because he had a was having a hernia surgery, and he'd had this hernia ever since I knew him. But he didn't have anyone to take him to the hospital, and we hadn't been. There was something weird going on because he was the kind to where he called the workplace and left harassing messages on the work phone number. Oh, he was that kind of person. So, and I was always being threatened to be blocked, but he never knew how to do blocking. So, when I'm over taking care, helping him and all that in the hospital, they said, "Oh, and you're his brother." They still, and I thought to myself, 16 years and we're still doing that. It didn't make me get sad. Like, it was just like, this is still going on. But then when I see his new friend, because the weed dealer he's been going through for well over 20 years, now it's um, some little bitch. And this guy was amused by my YouTube channel and some of my things. So he was saying things that I say. And when the the last time I actually saw him, um, it was right before I left when I took rescued these kittens. But he had gotten my face, and he's done that before. But that time I could see that like he looked like he wanted to hit me, and I was not in the because like he says from when I kicked his ass in Palm Springs, I still can't sleep on my right side. Good. But I went and walked around the block just to um, like get away from the situation. And then when I came back, he did it again. Got right and had this race that he was like. So I went and I said I'm going to get a to Walmart to get a crate for these kittens. And I said, and I'm taking them all, and I'm out of here. And that's what happened. I took them, and the cats kittens existed because his little friend brought over this cat, and he lied about that the cat was so these cats were like their whole existence is like it comes from part of a lie because I was told that the cat just showed up. No, the cat was brought there. So if the cat would have never been brought there, then money wouldn't be here. So when I did get back home, he he was trying to convince me that that he wasn't lying, and it was unreal. So, but that dude, that was so much vicious bullshit that I the um, abuse and the mental abuse. But then I was told, he said, well, you just left. I said, how many times have I just left before? It's happened a lot, but all of a sudden it was I left and he could no longer handle my mood swings. So after that, I was really angry and really angry and pissed off. I was sad, but I was angry. There were so many nights when I wanted to drive down there and just beat the shit out of him. But it I never did, and I didn't like he never has sent or and no the last message I called for. I said, it just came out of the blue when I called. I said, you know what? You're a fucking faggot. And I said, and your father would be ashamed of you. And I went off, and then that was it. And it was like a more than a year that I was like in a angry place. And now, well, then, and now it's like it's like, was that even real? There was a brief period when um, I was actually happy, really happy. Even when there's bad things happening going on, I was still. It wasn't like completely hopeless. And yeah, things were the first time ever in my life I was. It's like everything fell into place. Like I was. There weren't doubts about anything, and I was really happy. If you're with someone, if you live with someone and they don't ever annoy you and you don't ever get into arguments, if you get into any kind of like misunderstandings, it's it's okay. Let here we talk about all this shit and honest and all that shit, and the dreams that you had before that in that 16 years of bullshit just kind of got like forgot about or not even wanted to do. And it it also went like this. I when I was little I loved Christmas. I kuloed Christmas. Then um when I got big it's I hate Christmas. I hate everything about it. I hate all the holidays. And then then when I was this happy, Christmas was exciting, and Easter sharing um, Christmas with someone who had never had one, with a Jehovah's Witness person, since they do um, there ain't no holidays, nothing like that. So then they don't know any of the Christmas, any of the traditions that happen, and and things um things that I had always thought would be cool to do, but just um I didn't think they'd ever happen. They were. It was now to where this this could really happen. Um is good the when someone who treats you so well, um, always well, who never mean or anything like that, ever, and then your piece of shit brother shows up, starts his lies, and destroys everything. Like he said, you're on the chopping block. So his lies and all his shit stirring put a big separation. Someone now was 1,000 miles away. 1,000 miles away. And the coronavirus happening. So that's that. Because Nick goes, oh, are you like, it's hard to be, to just say, okay, fuck all that when there was never anything bad. Isn't there things that you want to, that you want to fight for? I could see if it's someone who was you're always disagreeing with or hitting or fighting like that, that when people want to get back like that, or when they say, oh, you shouldn't. So does that mean if someone treats the best, the best ever, you just, oh, I'm not going to try and save it. And I know this is playing the devil's advocate, and there's still two sides, but there's been shit that's happened to him that's that I know makes he comes from a whole a something that I haven't experienced, and they're bad, but that's why I'm. But then it's so when if someone has some issues or some things, and just them like even it coming to terms with themselves is difficult. Throw in 1,000 miles there, and uh, a conniving cunt, and all of that. The how everything is right now was a directly from my brother showing up here like he's done throughout the years, just showing up and turning everything upside down. So that's been some people like, wait, why are you gonna stay with someone when they treat you like shit? Or oh, remember all there was good times. What about when all you have is good times? But you know what? No one gave a shit. It's like so that it there's gonna be a thousand miles between you and someone, and you're gonna. Who cares if you're gonna be? Who gives a fuck? Your happiness is no. It doesn't matter. And I got it's not just I'm not being dramatic, and I'm not a person who makes up shit. So I don't come on the internet and make up shit or tell lies. I keep shit real and I tell the truth and tell probably way too much truth. But I will own everything that I say and that I've done. I don't I don't do none of that deflecting shit. I'm gonna stand there and I'm not gonna run away and hide and avoid something because what the fuck does that do? What is that gonna do? Running away and hiding from something, how is that gonna help you? I could see if you say you're running away from a stalker, someone who's trying to hurt you, but when no one's trying to hurt you, they're trying to help you. Running and hiding and not addressing something that you didn't even know what the situation was. For example, you leave or you split because someone you think someone hates you, and the truth was the person wasn't mad at you. So there went all of that over some miscommunication of something that's nothing. But you, if you get scared or don't want to deal with it, it doesn't go away. It doesn't just disappear. You can make it disappear in your mind, but it'll always be there. It's not gonna go away because you'll still be fucking running away, hiding from it. And then think of it. What does that do? You can't deal with. So instead, just let it linger and be there, but just don't deal with it. That ain't gonna help you in life. It's just gonna make you not think of it for another day. But eventually, it'll be there because there's nowhere for it to go. And then people will realize that if they would have had some balls, that they could have probably accomplished a lot instead of being scared and assuming shit when it's not the case. And there's some guy I said like I've never met him, but I was chatting with him and I said something. This was right before I started this. That's it. What prompted this live? I said something about family drama, and he said something, and then it says, "Oh, well," and then tomorrow's a new day, or really? It's like, and then it's like, yeah, it is tomorrow's a new day, and you know what? Tomorrow, those people are gonna bring you drama tomorrow too. If they've been doing it for over 20 years, what's gonna make them stop? So like, and that's like those some of those fucking motivational. You do this and this. It's not everyone can um do that. Or some of these, there was this, I don't know what it was, but it was one of those assholes who it doesn't sound like it's being motivation. It sounds more like he's bragging and shit like that. And then there was some mass shooting, and instead of putting something about it, just well, did anyone know that there it was all talking great about guns? It's like, okay, wait a minute, a bunch of people just got killed here, and now you're going to be talking about that guns help certain people. It's like, shut the fuck up. Or I saw this TikTok. It was this asshole. He was jogging or something like, and he was saying, um, do you know why single people are single? Because they don't want to do this. They it was it sounds like this sounds like some bitter ass bitch who's playing like they're the hottest shit on earth, and not 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 like coming from a place of like um protecting yourself, more like because you do all of this because you know what you will accept and what you will take, and he didn't say anything about like um someone hurting you or anything like that. It was because you have this in your mind, you're gonna do this, you're gonna accomplish this. And the like jogging videos, like, oh my god, who is this asshole trying? And people, oh yep, yep. Or I've been single that like it just sounded he sounded more like he's single, but really doesn't want to be single, but he's the shit. This I know I'm not one to talk. Well, I do make hokey videos and do dumb stuff, but as for these guys who practice this shit to go look into a mirror and then do some move to where they're wearing a different outfit. I, I just, to me, I just think these people thinking they're badasses when they're doing all of this shit for this video. It makes these people look like they really love themselves and love when the comments are just people. people boasting about how beautiful they are. And these these guys that use these filters and shit. And there was this one guy that was lifting, like doing what is it, deadlifts? Is that what they're called? And it just looked like he looks like he's gonna like he's gonna hurt himself. And I don't, I see you can. That's why the breathing and the lifting and positioning of when you're doing the workout is, if you're lifting up something heavy, but you're not lifting it correctly, then you're more likely gonna hurt yourself more than anything else. And your symmetry will be all shitty. And if you see someone that like skips leg day, you can know that's, you don't want none of that. But there was this one video with this guy like doing these curls, and you could see when he was like this guy's gonna hurt himself, and he was with some other dude who was doing it too, and it's just like these videos of how much these people love and they're showing themselves off, but doing these um exercises that you may be lifting something pretty heavy, but if you're going like that, you're gonna hurt yourself. And if you hurt yourself bad enough, then you're never gonna be able to lift again. I haven't been able to do any of my working out because of my, that gout has been really bad all year. So when I started to, then they started to hurt, and then it kept happening, and it stayed happening for a long time. But I need to do it because working out will make you feel better. It does something with your, the chemicals and all that shit. And I want to look decent. I want to have the perfect dad bod. Well, it's been real. I gotta charge this phone up.